Hi there, this is Harry and welcome back to my channel where we help you with your understanding of the English language, and today we're going to talk about some words and some synonyms, and the word I have for you is strange. So we're going to look at synonyms or other words and other ways to say strange. Strange can be a person can be strange, a situation can be strange, so lots of events are strange events, something unusual, something different that is happening. So the first word I have for you is, well, it's actually a phrase, off the wall, O-F-F, yeah, O-F-F, off the wall. And when we use that expression, off the wall, we very much refer to something that is different, something very unusual, something, as we say, left field even, that's come from nowhere, and you wonder, well, where did that come from? So you could be in the meeting with some of your friends or some of your business associates, and somebody makes some recommendation or he has some idea, and everybody looks at them and go, what's that? That's a very off-the-wall comment to make, meaning very strange, very unusual. So they say, well, let's try something different. Why not? We're trying to attract new customers, so we need something a little bit off the wall. In the modern age, people are expecting and looking for something that is different. There's no point being the same as everybody else. So let's be a little bit different. Let's be a little bit off the wall. So it can be comments, it can be suggestions, it can be ideas. So if you're in the middle of a think tank, then they're looking for new ideas. They're looking for somebody to come up with something completely different. And this is where people in the advertising world are really good. They can advertise a product and they can have some connection that you don't see, and it's really off the wall, but it gets you thinking and it gets you remembering the particular product. So off the wall, strange. The next word is bizarre. So just be careful with the pronunciation of that. Bizarre. Okay, it's spelled B-I, but we pronounce it bizarre. Okay, and bizarre again is another word for strange. So something that is bizarre is something really unusual and something that happened. So it's usually about a thing rather than a person. So let's talk about something that happened in the high street. When you arrived in the high street to do your weekly shopping, everything was blocked, all the roads were blocked off and you couldn't get up or you couldn't get down. So you said, this is a bit strange. It's really bizarre. I'm not sure what's happening. So you went home, parked the car, went back into the house, and you switched on the radio or you checked on the internet, and you found out that they were actually filming some new movie in your town or in your city. So that's the reason why the streets were blocked. But to you, it was a little bizarre because you didn't know before you went. So bizarre. And the next word is quirky. Again, we have to be very careful with the pronunciation here. You've got that Q-U at the beginning, like the word quick, but here, quirky, Q-U, quirky. And when something is quirky, it's very unusual, but very different. We can often use it when we're describing somebody's dress sense. He's a quirky dresser, meaning it's different, but not just, you're wearing a suit and somebody else is wearing casual clothes. They're different. But when something's quirky, it's unusual, but perhaps suits his particular sense of style or his attitude. So he could come in dressed in t-shirts and shorts when everybody else is wearing long trousers and jackets. So yeah, he's a little bit quirky, but everybody understands him. Perhaps he lived in a very hot climate and now he's living in a cold climate. He still dresses the same way. So t-shirt and shorts when everybody else is dressed to suit the weather. So a little bit quirky. Or he could do some things that are a little bit quirky. Perhaps he has his lunch at breakfast time, or he has his breakfast in the middle of the day. You might describe that as slightly strange or quirky. Okay, so different things can be unusual, they can be strange, and they can be quirky. And the next word is eccentric. Again, be careful with the pronunciation. E-C, eccentric, eccentric. So when somebody is eccentric, they are usually very, very different. We often refer to the eccentric millionaire. So somebody who has a lot of money. So perhaps in modern days, it could be a billionaire, because a million for lots of people is quite normal. But the eccentric billionaire or millionaire is somebody who does weird and strange things just because he can, just because he has the sort of money that will allow him to do things. So perhaps he drives a Rolls Royce, but he's got a chauffeur, so he's a little bit eccentric. Perhaps he still lives in the same street that he always lived in, but he has a very flamboyant, a very stylish lifestyle when everybody else around him is a little poorer, but he still likes to be seen in his neighborhood, so he's a little bit eccentric. Perhaps he walks his dog and the dog has a pink coat and a big fluffy hat. That could be a little bit eccentric, a little bit strange. So when people are eccentric, they can be mistaken for being a little bit mad. So somebody says, oh, he's eccentric, he's really mad, or she's eccentric, she's really mad. And often it's given away by the way they dress or the way they behave. So big flamboyant hats or mad hairstyles or very flashy clothes. These would all be ways of describing somebody as a little bit eccentric, strange. And the next word is odd. And again, pronunciation odd. Get that D sound at the end. It's O-double-D, O-D-D, odd. Yeah? And odd can be a person or a thing. We can have odd numbers. So even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Uneven numbers or odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, etc. Okay, so those are even and odd. But when somebody is odd, they behave in quite a strange way. He's an odd man, isn't he? Yeah. Oh, I've never understood him. He does things in a very peculiar way. He hangs his washing out when it's raining, and he takes an umbrella out when the sun is shining. So he's a little bit odd, a little bit unusual. Things can be very odd when you can't find something. You are sure you put your keys on the table next to the front door, and when you go to leave the house, you can't find the keys. And you say, that's a little odd. I'm sure I put the keys there. I do it every day. And of course, when you put your jacket on, there are the keys in your jacket pocket. So you hadn't really put them on the table where you usually put them. So yes, a little bit odd, but you did find them. And a person who behaves in an odd way, in an unusual way, different, or again, as we're looking at the word strange. Okay, so the word odd. And the next word is weird. Yeah, and weird we often use when we refer to a person. The actions that they have are weird or strange, or the way they behave is weird or strange. We say, oh, he's behaving quite weirdly, yeah, and use it there as an adverb, or the way he talks is quite weird. Ooh, somebody talking a little bit weird, or acting in a weird way, perhaps somewhat different from the way he usually acts. He's a little bit weird today. What is he doing? Yeah, it's a bit strange. I don't know. There must be some problem. Okay, so the word weird. And the next word is surreal. Again, pronunciation is very important. S-U, surreal. And when something is surreal, yes, it is strange. Yes, it is unusual. But it's usually something that we don't experience quite so often. Yeah, so a surreal experience would be with COVID, the streets were empty. So you go into a city that is once very, very busy, cars up and down, people thronging into the shops. But on this particular Saturday in the middle of December, which is the biggest shopping days before Christmas, the streets are empty, the shops are empty, there is no traffic except for a few taxis. This would be a surreal experience. You're not quite sure what has happened, as if somebody has come down from another planet and sucked all the people out of the streets and all the cars and everything and left you in this sort of no man's land with nobody around you. So you're walking the street completely empty. So a surreal experience, an unusual experience, or a strange experience. Or if you're sitting on the bank of a river and there's a bit of a fog or a mist, and when you look up or down the river, it looks like you're on another planet. This could be also a surreal experience. You're looking at something quite unique, quite different, something that you haven't experienced before. Surreal. And finally, the word funny, but I don't mean funny in a ha-ha way, but laughing, no, but we're talking about funny in a peculiar way, or again, in an unusual way. So somebody makes some reference and go, that's a little bit funny. So you're not laughing, it's strange, funny, strange, not funny, ha-ha. Yeah, so funny in a peculiar way, but not funny in an amusing way. So it could be anything. It could be a reference to the way you do something, a reference to how you dress. Yeah, you're dressed a little bit funny today. It's not that people are going to be laughing, but it's a little bit unusual. Why are you wearing ski boots in the middle of summer? Why are you wearing a polo neck jumper in the middle of the summer, a hot summer? So it can be funny, strange, or a little bit unusual. So we use it to describe something quite peculiar, quite unusual, quite different, and quite strange. Okay, so you have all the words there that have the similar meaning to strange. Let me just give them to you one more time. Weird, bizarre, odd, quirky, eccentric, surreal, off the wall, and funny. And we can also add in peculiar. I used two of them together in one example there, funny and or peculiar, but you can use them separately and they have similar meanings. And again, with peculiar, just be careful with the pronunciation. Peculiar, peculiar. Okay, just try that. Practice the pronunciation on some of those words that are a little bit strange, like bizarre and weird and quirky, eccentric, peculiar. So practice the pronunciation. Try to use them instead of using the word strange all the time. They're all synonymous for strange. And join me again soon. Remember, if you want to contact me, always happy to hear from you. Thanks very much and join me again soon.